What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Bourbon and Bullshit podcast with some good friends, great drinks, and a little bit of BS. So grab a seat, pour up something neat, and welcome to the show. All right. Welcome into the show. Today is a fun one. I've actually been a fan of this young man, gentleman, for quite some time. You might know him from Latinos Against Spooky Shit, the short form video content that you might see on TikTok, Instagram, wherever you get your socials from. Today's guest is Jonathan Perez, the hilarious, sharp-witted creator behind Latinos Against Spooky Shit, and a tabletop RPG enthusiast. Jonathan, what's going on, man?
What's going on? By the way, as soon as I heard your voice, I was like, oh, we're starting. I was about to say something, and I didn't see your lips moving. I was like, oh, damn, the intro. Shut the hell up. Damn.
We had one discussion.
We had one discussion beforehand, and I was about to be like, oh, yo, this song's a vibe. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh,
I shouldn't.
Awesome. What, you like the song?
Oh, the song's a vibe. It's a bop. You kidding me?
Bro, I've had someone hit me up and they're like, hey, man, I don't know if the song actually fits like the energy of the show because you'll be all the way up after. I was like, listen to multiple episodes. I love this fucking song.
It's cool lounge, like just relaxing, just mellow. Nah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, man.
But no, happy to be here, man.
Good, man. I'm glad, man. I've enjoyed a lot of your stuff. And you get a laugh when we get into why I've enjoyed it. But for those who have not seen your content online, Latinos Against Spooky Shit is one of the funniest, and you got to do it for us. Give us the intro to every video.
Hola, buenas tardes. Representative Latinos Against Spooky Shit here.
There we go. Now you guys are probably familiar with what Jonathan does. So his voice is one that stood out, especially when you're watching the videos and you don't expect that voice to come right after. So tell us about because it's a crazy videos that you'd be putting up there. But tell us about the Latinos Against Spooky Shit and everything that you've been doing, man. Like, because that blew up quick.
Yeah, I mean, my first video I think got posted 2021, sometime around there, and this hurts me. This hurts my pride because I wish I could tell you I'm a marketing genius. I wish I could tell you that I'm so smart. I came up with this on my own. That I saw that there was this need for this brand. Nah, accidental as hell. I posted a voice video one time. This girl posted a video and she's like, "Oh my god, have you ever noticed your voice is different in different languages?" I was like, "What? No, it ain't." I was like, "Hi, my name is Jonathan. This is English. Hola, mi nombre es Jonathan." I was like, oh, crap, it's higher. I never realized my voice is higher. And that popped off, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I'm a voice guy. Started doing voice stuff. Didn't go well. Damn, okay, try again. I happened to post a video of me frying some eggs and flipping them. Another 6 million views, 10,000 followers overnight. I'm like, damn, I'm an egg guy? That's what I gotta be? So I started trying to do food videos. That didn't go off.
Okay.
And then this one creator, Shoutout, because my journey started with him, Nate Petrosky. He is a off-the-grid living creator. He lives in the woods, just self-sufficient, and he films his lifestyle and talks about what that's like. And he had a video where he's like, I heard a strange noise outside, so I went to investigate, and it's him opening the door to pitch black woods. And I remember the first thing being like,
no,
you couldn't pay me enough. And I just happened to do a video, and I just happened to say Latinos Against Spooky Shit as like a door-to-door solicitor. Next thing I know, it just kind of took a life of its own, and we've been here. And I've had the pleasure of doing amazing things with Paramount and Warner Brothers and Amazon and
tell us about those
Alien
projects.
Romulus. Wait. Yeah, I've done quite a few projects in the last couple of years now.
Tell us about those projects. Alien Romulus. Please tell us.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not being paid anymore to say this, so this is just truly me. Alien Romulus was such a phenomenal film. If you like the Alien series, it's so good.
It's upsetting how good of a movie that was.
It's so good. The fact that they went back to practical effects is what really drove it home for me. Like 80% practical. It's phenomenal. But no, Evil Dead Rise, I did a promo video for them, and I got a chance to work on that project. I did Smile 2, where I was able to not just post a video about it with a reaction, but I also got to go to LA and rent out a theater and invite a bunch of my content creator friends out there, and we got to watch the screening a couple days early.
Oh, shit.
Alien Romulus, I got to go to the red carpet, flown out there by the company, by Disney, essentially, to go and just experience it and be a part of that. And so No, I've been incredibly fortunate to be a part of a lot of these projects and programs and to be associated with so many cool brands and names.
That is so goddamn dope. Sorry, for some reason my light wanted to go to this for partying.
Yo.
That's dope, man. What was your favorite one so far? I'm gonna turn this on a second.
Honestly, they all have a special place in my heart for a couple different reasons, but I think for me it's going to be Smile 2, porque I got a chance to meet just an amazing group of people out there with this project, and that oversaw like creator negotiate. I got to go to the Paramount Studios lot and go through the tour of the entire place, and no, it's just a lot of fun. And I think for me they're all special because they each represent a milestone of getting somewhere because of my culture and because of who I am as a person, and it being like just this marker of kind of you made it, like everybody has that one moment where like, dude, you made it. And having people in this industry that I'd never thought I'd be a part of be like, oh, we know you and we love your stuff. I was like, damn, okay, people know me. That's wild.
That's dope. I think that's like, especially with that genre, they've needed something fresh. Like I will argue that so we had this conversation. I'm a big spooky fan. Well, deep into the spooky shit. My whole room has a bunch of posters and decor signed by like Matthew Lillard from Scream, signed by Tony.
Oh shoot, okay.
Like Tony Todd from Candyman art, rest in peace. I actually made cocktails dedicated to him. So I have like the first Michael Myers. He signed the license plate because in the first Halloween he drives a car. Right. He's the only horror villain to have done that. For some reason, he's the only one who got his learner's permit. Freddy, and my favorite too are Freddy Krueger's signed glove that says "Where's the bourbon, bitch?" and Jason's mask, "No Lives Matter," because that's funny, fitting for Jason. But
that's crazy. I love those.
Yeah, bro. All of it. My room is covered. I have 13 Ghosts, paraphernalia, all this stuff. I have all this.
13 Ghosts is my favorite horror movie of all time. It is one of the best movies.
Are you sure you didn't do your research on me?
I didn't. No, legitimately. Like, listen, I wish I came in kind of blind. I usually like to come in a little blind because I like the spontaneous factor of things.
Yeah.
And I know for Latinos Against Spooky Shit, I like a lot of spooky things. Latinos Against Spooky Shit is less about it not existing and more about us respecting it when it does exist. You know what I mean?
Oh, 1,000,000%. But the whole horror genre, I think we've seen kind of a shift in. You've seen A24, you've seen these companies start kind of switching things up. Smile 2, Barbarian, all these movies are just coming out that are, because our new generation of horror is no longer as like blood and gore and guts. There is that. People still watch The Terrifier. There's a reason why he makes money. Like, people still like it. Not my cup of tea. Not my favorite movie ever. I will be probably the odd man out and saying it's trash.
But I agree. It's
really,
but it fills a spot. It fills a spot when I'm like, it's kind of like the Saw movies. They're not scary, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, I kind of just want to watch somebody get ripped apart for a second. Just
the movie Hostel. Remember that?
Oh fuck yeah, that was in the time. It was how would you call it? It was a defining moment for cinema when it came to the horror genre.
Yes,
that and the first Saw movie.
Yeah,
because they kind of came within the same like 4 or 5 years of each other, I think.
Yeah, and the first Saw movie, the original was just a short. Was that scene with Amanda where she gets in the hospital and they're talking about how like she was the only one to escape? Originally, it was just that whole scene, and they built around it and made a whole world. And the fact that they keep coming out with it, fantastic. But you and what you're doing is kind of creating this next generation of like horror enthusiasts, and the horror genres are starting to expand. Smile was such a great movie. I don't care what anybody says.
It was great. It was phenomenal, especially Smile 2. If you guys haven't seen Smile 2, it's such a good. It went from a body horror, monster horror to a psychological horror real quick. And I don't want to say more for people that haven't watched it. Yeah. But it's so good that I actually had to watch it a second time afterwards because I was like, there's so much I missed that is explained at the end that it's so cool watching it come together.
Oh, 100%. And one of my friends, one of our friends and our biggest sponsors, Aurora Fable, big into spooky. She actually talks about the fact that modern horror kind of plays on what people's internal fears are and personifies them and puts them into like physical ability.
Manifestation, yeah.
Like even the movie Barbarian. It's what appears to be in a nice, beautiful home, And then when the lights are on, you're like, where the hell am I? I'm in a giant hood. But then you realize that that's also talking about the fact that that hood goes unnoticed. And this woman and her father have existed for decades unchecked because no one cares about that hood. I'm like, how could someone get away?
Oh, that's right.
People don't go to that part of Detroit.
Gentrification.
Because really, in no other circumstance, because that exists.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. Like what like when you start thinking about what really happens in those neighborhoods no one goes to, or like
That's
dead
crazy.
neighborhoods. And
or that one house you're like, man, I haven't seen that person in a while. It's like, oh, they fell in the bathtub and they just been cooking a stew for 20. Okay.
Yeah. Really fucked
that
up.
sucks.
Yeah. But I think that's I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous that you got to do all those things, but obviously well deserved. You set a precedent and you kind of set yourself apart from everyone else. I don't see many people who actually do the like watch the Appalachian mountain shit and be like, absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Do you have anyone else that does that in that kind of like same space as you?
The closest I've got that exists within my sphere. So again, my realm is very niche in the sense of like, stay away from it from the perspective and lens of being Latino, right?
Yeah.
We've got Curvy Black Witch from the UK, and I believe they are Caribbean, Jamaican, and a lot of them is same concept. Leave it alone. Don't touch it.
Please
we
don't.
have Monse, and she's phenomenal as well. She does a fantastic job. She's a very big horror enthusiast, but she also does a lot of live reactions of like videos of people seeing La Llorona in Mexico and all that kind of stuff. We have Holly Weird Paranormal, Tammy, based in LA, and she does a lot of investigations as well to just kind of debunk stuff and also bring information to. So a lot of phenomenal people that kind of rotate around the same space, but everybody still has their own bubble that sometimes just happens to intersect.
So that's dope. That's kind of cool too, that you get to interact with them and see that different dynamics and get to know them. But speaking of La Llorona, today's drink of the day, because I always have to do this for y'all. Today's drink of the day is based off, because we knew we were having Jonathan in here, it's called La Llorona. This cocktail was not made by me. It was made by a Mexican cocktail enthusiast bartender. I will give you all that information in a moment, but I do want to run you through who the Gerona is translates to the weeping woman. The origins of Latin American folklore, especially prominent in Mexican culture. The legend is a woman drowns her children, often in a river, and overcome by grief, dies and becomes a ghost. So you often hear that haunting, wailing noise near water or something like off the streets of like these kind of Latin cultural like towns and barrios. I was going to say like barrios, like those like off the beaten path neighborhoods in towns. So the warning tale used to scare kids into staying close to home and avoiding dangerous places at night, which as a Latino, don't fuck around. Your mom's going to whoop your ass. She does. Yep. You might know her also from, they did a Gerona run for the same Annabelle Conjuring world.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good, but
they tried.
But you still worth a check out because that whole world's great. And last but not least, the symbolism there represents the themes of guilt, loss, cultural trauma, and maternal grief of losing your child. So La Llorona, this cocktail is made with 3 ounces of pisco, which felt fitting. Pisco is a colorless, yellowish, amber, whatever spirit. Winemaking regions of Peru and Chile, made from distilling and fermenting grape juice into high-proof spirits. Developed in the 16th century, Spanish settlers as an alternative to Orgullo, a prominent brandy, pomace brandy that was being imported from Spain. 1 ounce lemon juice, 1 ounce lime juice, 2 dashes of bitters, and it says a tablespoon and a half of sugar, which I felt was weird because I normally make simple syrup. But I'm not the one who made the recipe. So I'm just going to follow what they did. It was a fantastic fucking drink. I'm not mad. It tastes like a pisco sour. That lemon and lime.
I was going to say, it almost sounds like a pisco old fashioned.
Yeah. Like it's really like high citrusy, really kind of like, I don't want to say super sweet because it isn't overpowering, but I like the tart bitters. I like citrus.
Okay.
Definitely refreshing. I inhaled it before we even started. Or throughout this first day. Like this was full. For anyone watching at home, this was full. I apologize.
Damn.
I didn't mean to. It's a Wednesday. I got to get to work tomorrow. But it felt fitting for what we're on here today. A little ode to the Latin culture, symbolism, and everything that we got going. But I got some questions for you, Jonathan.
Hell yeah, let's get into
Let's
it.
get into it. So it says, so you're originally from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're originally from Baja California, Mexico, and grew up in Seattle.
That's right.
Currently out there in Montana. During your time in Mexico and in California, is this kind of what inspired your like love for like this folklore and spooky stuff? And because Mexican culture is, and Hispanic culture as a Latino, we got a lot of folklore.
Yeah, we do.
Like
a lot of it.
Yeah, we always got el cuco or panda or someone's coming to get you if you don't act right. Like, is that where that origin came from? Or
So I left Mexico when I was very young. I left when I was about 3 or 4 years old. And then we immediately went to Seattle. And thankfully, I was surrounded by a lot of my family and a lot of Latinos and a lot of the neighborhood and the community and all that. And I think my love for the spooky came from my grandparents because a lot of it was that fear factor, right? Like, hey, like la mano peluda is gonna get you if you don't act right, like Gerona, like all these things. And my fascination deepened more because of my distance from it. You know, we come to Montana and then all of a sudden we were kind of the only Latino family for like 500 miles in any direction. And it's just us trying to figure it all out. And I think the further I got away from my culture, the more I wanted to know about it. So the more I started learning about it, the more I started digging into it and asking questions and finding out like, oh, all this lore is cool. Like Llorona, you know, there's so many different tales of where it started and what it was and what it is. El Chupacabra, found out, not even Mexican, originally Puerto Rican. You know, you find out all these things, and the more you know, the more you learn, the more you're like, okay, what else is there? Like, I know my lore, but what lore is here now? And you start digging, and that's kind of where it started.
That's awesome, man. I almost seeking that like cultural, like getting back to that roots and
yeah.
And abuelos like that. I just old school. For some of the non-Hispanic listeners, Caribbeans and Hispanics and all this, we sit a lot around a fire or we sit around outside drinking beer. Everyone's telling stories. We're really good storytellers because all we do is just drink and talk. Dominicans, I can't speak for everyone else, but Dominicans do, especially in the campo. But these folklores, there's always like that little nugget of truth. Has there ever been a story that you're like, oh, I kind of really, really believe that one? Like
there was one. This is such a random story, and I don't know what truth there is to it, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know, that just feels too descriptive to not be real. And it was, do you know what Los Pitufos are?
No.
Smurfs.
What? Yes.
Smurfs.
The cartoons?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So this was a story, and it's been so long since I've heard the story, but it's stuck to my brain. And my aunt told me the story, but long story short, she always hated Los Pitufos, the Smurfs, and I never knew why. She finally told us a story that happened back in Mexico. Again, the legitimacy, who knows, but I kind of believe it for some reason. But there was this one girl in the neighborhood that had a pitufo, a Smurf doll, and she kept complaining to her parents that it kept like saying things to her at night, and they're like, whatever, like she's just scared of it because like it's creating a shadow or something, or it's just like messing with her. And this went on for a while, and they kept, talking about it. And one night they go to check on the girl, and she's gone. She's not in the bedroom, and they're freaking out. Manhunt starts. They're trying to find her. They're trying to look for her. Time goes by, and apparently the smell in the room started getting really bad, and they're like, what is this smell? And they started like looking through the room, and the smell started coming from the doll, from the Smurf doll. And so they cut it open, and they found her inside the Smurf doll.
Not okay. Not okay, Jonathan. Not okay.
I know. and like, and the story is that either the Smurf doll somehow ate her or something, but she looked like she had been tore up and shoved inside of it somehow. But yeah, that's
the one that you're like.
This is the one where I'm like, man, y'all fucking wild for it. And I don't know. I was always a little sus of them goddamn Smurfs. I never trusted them.
Yeah, why are they so goddamn happy? There's only one lady there, too.
Why are you happy? Why are you so small?
Yeah.
Too. Like, why are you existing?
Yeah.
What's your vibe?
I feel like only one dude just keeps trying to, like, kill all of y'all. I know it's for selfish reasons, but if he's that insistent...
But at the same time, like, what did y'all do?
Yeah.
There has to be a reason to it.
If he's that persistent on that shit, like, I feel like...
Yeah.
If he was trying to make money, all that energy could have been spent somewhere else.
100%. Like, you've seen all the inventions he came up with. He could have patented that and made a whole bunch of money. Y'all did something.
This is personal. Like you
This is a vendetta. He is the John Wick of that universe.
Yeah, not very good at it though, because he gets bodied every fucking time. But that's an interesting one. I never knew that one. So you put me on the side. I did not know.
That's a weird one. Yeah, Latinos have a thing against Smurfs, man.
Yeah, I did not realize that my mom hated Smurfs. I thought it was just like she just fucking hated traffic.
I thought she just didn't like mushrooms.
Yeah, that's it. No, all I ever had was El Cuco, but it was just kind of like my mom's like bullshit thing of like, she wanted me to stay out of trouble. So whenever there was like a random neighbor or someone like that was kind of fishy, she's like, I said panda, te coge. He'll take you.
Yeah.
He'll like steal you. And I grew up and I was like, was she talking about like pedophiles and child? Like what was going on here?
Yeah, I think so much of that stems from that Latino not knowing how to talk to us about real world things, so they make it scary.
Yeah,
because it's like, how do you tell your 5-year-old like, hey, this man could abduct you, steal you, and harm you? It's like, nah, that's gonna be too scary for a kid. Hey, he's a monster, he's gonna eat you. Yeah, that makes more sense.
That's like, somehow that's scarier, Mom.
Like, yeah, that made it so much worse.
Yeah, you're saying that he has magical powers and he can steal me away.
You're saying he can transform. He's an animorph.
Yes. Instead, you could just say that dude, stay away from him. He might steal you.
Yeah.
That I don't want to not.
I believe that too. I would have believed either.
Both things were fine. Like we could have. One is just more traumatic, and now I'm afraid of what's under my bed. Crazy lady.
Yeah.
Like crazy lady.
Now I can't sleep with doors open. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks. I threw my sister's dolls in the washing machine because their eyes are too realistic. Listen. It's fucked up, but I'm sure someone else has done that kind of shit. But so you through this journey of like being, do you want to talk about the life before content creation or like?
Sure, absolutely. I told you, there's nothing that's not open, man.
Yeah, I always got to ask. So you spent over a decade in corporate America, which is traumatic enough as is, like, as a corporate recruiter, and then you put that solidified 9-to-5 consistent income and took a risk. Like, how was that experience and what was that? Like, I know that, you found a lot of success. There had to be a moment there. Tell us about that.
So I'm gonna say this to everybody out there, and a lot of people are gonna hate me for it.
I'm scared.
But as a recruiter, lie on your resume. I don't give a damn. As long as you can do the job, lie on your resume to get in front of somebody. I lied to get my job.
ChatGPT that shit.
ChatGPT that shit. 100%. 100%. I started off in sales, telecommunications, with a big company that's got a big check mark. Started with them, and I lied my little ass off. Got into sales with them.
Yeah.
And there was a position open for recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
I lied, said that I had previous experience, did not. And that was my way into recruiting, and I learned everything I had to. Most times you need to have like a human resource degree, and you have to have this and you know, SHRM and all these other certifications. I was like, I got by with none of them.
I got all of them.
I not a single one. Still don't have one.
I'm mad. No, I'm joking. I'm not a hater at all. I'm glad you got through. Fucking
listen, and I just kept bobbing and weaving questions and just making shit up and just making it sound good. But it just went from there, from telecom to nursing and the healthcare industry, and from that into what was it, a hot tub company that needed recruiting for engineers and stuff, and
I was about to make a joke
roofing.
Like,
there was a weird one.
A hot tub, like the people inside of them. Like, what are we doing here?
It's just a company that like built and designed hot tubs, and like, we need a recruiter, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then eventually ended up in probably my favorite field, which was very lucrative and hurt me to leave. I worked at a casino resort, managing 5 properties and all their hiring needs.
Okay.
So I was comfy. I was, after commissions and salary, I was in the low 6s. I was
send you my Patreon real quick. Go.
I was doing all right. And by that time I was already doing this. I'd already been doing this for a little while. Mm-hmm. And there was just this moment where I was like, I cannot keep just clocking in and clocking out and trying to do this whole balance thing. It's I either got to commit fully to one or the other, and I got to do the one that's going to make me happier. And this was the one. It was content creation. So I was like, okay, alrighty, let's just run it. Let's see what happens. Thankfully, my tenure with them was coming to a close because it was just a 1-year contract that they needed me for to get up everything up and running. And I was like, at the end of that year, I'm just gonna hit the ground running. And I rented a private office and set up my studio stuff in the state that I was in at the time. And I just went all in, and that's how Smile came about and all these other companies, all this other stuff. And then I ended up moving back to Montana just for personal reasons to be close to my son, and been making it work here as well. I did pick up another full-time job only because when you try to rent and you tell people I make tee-hee ha-ha videos on the internet, they look at you and they're like,
my man.
You need a real job. I'm like, damn, all right, hold on. Let me get one for a couple months so I can show proof of income. But otherwise, this is what you can see all my nerd crap in the background. I've got 3 monitors I'm staring at you guys at. The content creation life, man.
Yeah. People can kind of dimly see mine. Similar content creation, obviously, but it's same shit. Well, obviously I'm not on the red carpet. That soon. Holler at me for some
We'll get you there.
Hispanic
we'll get
dude
you
running
there.
around. I got ya. But someone wants to drink and make drinks for y'all.
Yeah, right.
But that's awesome, man. I think that's really inspirational for people to take that risk and follow the thing that you love, right?
You got to. I mean, at the end of the day, like, this body, as nihilistic as it sounds, I'm not going to make it out of this alive, right? Like, I'm here for one ride. I'm here one time, and that's kind of it. So I might as well make the best of it, because I can always get a job. Yeah. But to do content, to go to conventions, to travel, to do all these things that are so niche in the life experience, I'm only going to get to do it once. So I might as well just take a stab at it and see what happens. And I've been happy with it so far.
I love that, man. Hey, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of motivating me a little bit too, because for someone on this side of it where we're still a year into fucking around and finding out, well, year and a half or so, but there are a lot of scary moments. It's expensive. It's time consuming. There are frustrating moments where you're teaching yourself stuff that you've never had before. But as Jonathan told you, fake it till you make it. Say, if someone approaches you with a fantastic opportunity, say, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, 100%. And then start Googling immediately, because you don't know how
Figure
to
it out, dude. Yeah, half of these things I learned on the job, either through asking somebody, reading a document, or Googling it. Like, whether it's content creation or whether it's your job, shoot for the sky. You never know if you're going to land it. I mean, so many of these, and right now, especially in this current market, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, but it says it requires a bachelor's. They don't care. It says they require a bachelor's. They'll look at anybody that has experience.
I don't even know the last time listen, I work HR. I've never called a college to verify. No one has ever, even when I was in operations, even area leadership, anything, whatever, I've never once called the university. Was like, hey, did this student graduate the 4.0? Like,
I was hiring for C-suite, like corporate CFOs and everything. We didn't verify
jack.
We didn't check anything. I was like, you got a cover letter, you got the experience, cool. I'm gonna just ask you a couple questions. Oh, you sound like you're talking about, you know what you're talking about. I'm gonna put you in front of who's making the choice. That's their problem now. No.
In fairness,
we got time.
And then when you get in front of the people who are making the decision, they assume that the recruiter did the research. So like, no one's actually checking.
Yeah,
no one's checking.
Nobody has any. That's when you look at these companies, you're like, damn, who hired that person? It was us. We just didn't do the full job.
I didn't care. I like their vibe. That's all.
They sounded smart. They treated me respectfully. They sent me a thank you email. They shook my hand. I was like, you know what? I like them.
They picked up when I was trying to schedule this goddamn interview.
They showed up early and they didn't stay late. That's all I needed.
Yeah. Anytime I was like, hey, I had a question, they answered it fully, and we moved on.
Thank God.
Bro, it was not a problem. Guys, we're going to take a really quick commercial break. But before we leave for this break, just remember, just lie in your resume. Be right back. Hey guys, here at the show, we ask that you follow 3 simple rules that'll save your night and possibly your dignity. Rule number 1, don't drink and drive. Seriously, Uber exists for a reason. If you wouldn't trust yourself to build IKEA furniture after 3 bourbons, you definitely shouldn't be behind the wheel. Rule number 2, avoid Amazon one-click buy. Drunk you thinks a medieval suit of armor is a great investment. Sober you, not so much. And then try to explain it to your credit card company then. And finally, rule number 3, do not text your ex. Look, they had their chance, and you deserve better. No one ever found happiness at the bottom of a 2 a.m. I miss you text. Move on, hydrate, and remember, you're better than that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Text literally anyone else. Text your Uber driver that you missed them, but not your ex. Seriously, all jokes aside, stay safe, do the right thing, and take care of yourselves. All right, guys, now back to the show. So that's my updated Don't Drink and Dive commercial. The first one,
that's funny,
always got laughs. The first one was so much worse, so much fun. Well, so much funnier.
Good. Yeah.
It was funnier, and people were just like, I've had multiple listeners write me like out of the nowhere. It's like, I fucked up. I text my ex. I'm like, oh, man,
we said don't.
I don't know.
One job.
The instructions were clear.
My coworker got drunk and he bought a $400 outdoor like dog kennel, like 6 foot tall, like meant for like big dogs. Woke up the next morning, he's like, damn, this is stupid. Why did I do that? Cancels it. A couple hours later, his wife sends him a link to it. He's like, hey babe, we should get this for the dogs. And he's like, damn, now I gotta order it again. It's like, shit.
Drunk me and sober me are completely different wavelengths. Drunk me believes in myself at all times. Like, drunk me thinks no matter what, it was a fantastic idea. Drunk me is the most fucking ride or die person in my corner.
So funny. Drunk. I haven't let drunk me out in a long time.
Oh yeah.
But drunk me is very much in my feels. He's
a huggy feely drunk.
I'm a very like, I fucking love you, dude. Like, dude, you fucking got this. Have I told you got this, dude? Like, I believe in you so hard. Like, yeah.
If you are down, the next time we can connect again, I'll send you recipes. I'll send you whatever. We could have a drunk.
That way we can drink the same thing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Drink the same thing, fuck around, find out, and see what drunk you's all about. But
fuck.
I mean, not all about. We'll edit stuff.
That's a guys. No, that's a Patreon only episode or an OnlyFans only episode.
Depends on the views. Listen, I have some mirrorless cameras. We set up the lights. We just fucking go.
Why is there a foot cam? The fuck?
Listen, this is a real thing. I remember at some point, I took a shot at like Twitch streaming for video games because I like a lot of my horror video games, and the whole thing was, I'm gonna play a horror game so you don't have to. Like, I'll do the whole horror thing. But to be fair, I was also doing the Full Frontal Nerdity Show, which is a podcast pretty successful in Florida, in Orlando. So it was a lot of like burning my social battery at all times.
I feel that.
But while I was Twitch streaming, someone said, I'll send you $50 if you show them feet. It's like, that is not what the show is about. Send the money first and we can talk about it. Like,
New Year's 2023 going into 2024, New Year's Day, I did a stream and somebody jokingly was like, hey, how much to twerk on stream? And I was like, $200, drop it right now. Next thing I know, my PayPal went off. I was like, damn, all right. Shit,
guess okay, I'm twerking.
Well, guess I'm twerking.
I mean,
I threw that shit back like I had rent to pay.
God, you did. That's what the $200 was.
I did.
You come out New Year's Day, first just a day. Where does money come from?
Where's this? And why's my back hurt? I'm over 30. I can't be doing this.
My lower disc, my back anatomy. Before I forget, I did want to make sure that I give the shout out to the cocktail creator, because gotta give it to la cultura. So it's from the Muy Bueno, 3 Generations of Authentic Mexican Flavor by Yvette, Yvette, Marquez Shapnak, and Veronica Gonzalez Smith, and Evangela Sosa. It's a 2012 book that came out highlighting Hispanic cultures, recipes, food, drinks, and La Llorona was highlighted in that. So if you look online for La Llorona, this cocktail seems to be the prominent one, and there are some offshoots because everyone has riffs, but this is seems to be the most well known. They asked me to use dry ice, but I don't trust myself to make the spooky like little. Ooh, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna fucking swallow one of those chips. But
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm dumb. I'm here to drink, not to be responsible. So back to you, Jonathan. Early in your TikTok career, you began like the whole family cultural traditions and the standout. Like, what was a standout story that resonated with your audience? I know that you said that you got the egg flipping, and then your voice changing, but we're gonna go more specific. What was the first spooky one that landed?
So the Nate Petrosky one put me on the map with like just a couple 100,000 views. And that one I was like, okay, sustainability, right? The other ones were in the millions. I was like, okay, but what's the one that really got me noticed and on the map? And it was oh my god. I'm trying. I have them all in order in my head. I'm trying to go through the first couple ones that I did, and I think the one that got me first on there or next was these dudes out in the woods, and it's simple. It was okay. There's two of them. There's a chick that's talking about her experience in Mexico where she saw some trees moving, and she's just talking about how she's like, I saw them move, and like it's so weird and crazy, and like she doesn't have a video of the moving. It's just her explaining what she saw, and that was me talking about how like you didn't see it. Stop pretending you like don't. If you thought you saw it, no, you didn't. That's kind of where that phrase got immortalized a little bit more. And then the other one was these guys out in the woods, and there's this tree with natural knots on it, but it looks so much like a face.
Nope.
And if y'all have played Fallout, it looked like Greg from Fallout.
Oh shit, really?
Like full on face and everything. And yeah, I think those were the moments where those videos popped off, and I was like, okay, this is it. This is the niche. This is the spot I need to be at. And this is where I get to tell the cultural stories and what we got going on, and get to add my 2 cents in with my humor and with la cultura and everything else like that. But those were the two that come to mind where I'm like, okay, that's the one.
That's awesome that those are the ones. I was waiting for the Appalachian Mountain one. I was waiting.
You know what?
Like
there's so many.
Up.
I get tagged in so many of them. Mm-hmm. And like there was this one lady too where she did a video of her just going up her driveway, but she stopped and she rolls down the window, and it's middle of the night in the woods, and you can hear this like screaming, and it's very primal. And I remember like, woman, roll. And she's like, yeah, this happens every night. I'm like, every night?
Why do you live there?
And you're still here? No, maybe mama, go. And so, yeah, there's a lot of Appalachian Mountain ones. A lot of ones where I'm just like, y'all, just read the rules. I feel like if you land anywhere in the Appalachia area, you should get a pamphlet and just be like, listen, this is the things to avoid. Congratulations. Thanks for being here. Like, hopefully you survive. We'll see you back on your flight. But
if you land anywhere in the Appalachian Mountains, you get back on a plane and get back home, because that is not for you, fam. That's not for me.
No, the people that live out there, different breed.
Yeah, no, I'm scared of them. I'm scared like they've seen some shit.
Yeah,
they have no.
Can't do it.
But I do appreciate the fact that you said Latinos Against Spooky Shit, because even the name, because obviously you already highlighted why it came about, and kind of just like rolled off the tongue and made sure that it made sense as minorities. For all of you people who are white at home, I love you. But in horror movies, you make terrible decisions. Every single one of you. There's not one time you should split up. There's not one time that you should check out that noise. Never once should you all get out of the car to check out what was going on in that house. No, go home. Go home. So
stay home.
It felt real. It felt, when you said Latinos Against Spooky Shit. Look, I love horror movies. And I fuck with my fiance and tell her, like, hey, it would be cool to be haunted. I know it's not. I know.
The fuck?
I live in Florida. St. Augustine is one of the most haunted places in America. Savannah, Georgia.
It?
Yes. Yes. You want to come?
Don't tell me that like I should know.
No, I'm saying you should. Whenever you're ready, I will show you around. Well, I can meet you in Savannah, Georgia, which is another really haunted city.
So you say that, but you know what's funny is that actually I've been trying to get my other and just a group of content creator friends to go do a haunted investigation together. I'm down to run it if you are.
Well, I'm fucking down. Most haunted places in America. We're doing this right now in real life.
If you break the top 5, I swear to God.
In America. Well, it's going to say places. Oh, yeah. All right. So outside of like penitentiaries, right? Because like haunted places in America. This is happening in real time. This was not planned. Bodie, California, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, which is that's number 2. The cemetery in Savannah, Georgia. That one that's from the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, with Kevin Spacey before he was a piece of shit. That's one of the ones that's highlighted there. So Savannah, Georgia, which is a very close to a 3-hour drive away from me. I can make it there right now. Then there's Alabama, but I'm not going to Alabama. Too dark for that.
I ain't going to Alabama. I don't. Yeah. Ding 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 ding.
Yep. So we're gonna skip that. There's one in Louisiana, which still feels kind of we should skip.
I got stuck in Alabama. Actually, I used to live in Florida. I lived in Sarasota Fun fact.
Oh, really?
I did. I lived in Sarasota for almost a year.
God damn.
And I took a bus ride to save myself $75 instead of getting a flight. I rode the bus from California to Sarasota. And let me tell you, our bus broke down in Alabama. And they're like, yeah, we can't get parts or nothing to fix it for another 12 hours. And this was, what time was it? It was like 4 or 5 p.m. And then it started getting dark. And then the mosquitoes came out. And then it was hot as hell. And then there was a bunch of trucks that were very loud and had a lot of Confederate flags driving by. And one of them, I'm pretty sure, drove by multiple times, and I didn't like it. So I went to the Walmart across the street to just hide for a second. And I realized
That's the
that
worst
all the people there, were just staring at me too. So I said, shit. I grabbed my shit and got out. I made sure everybody could see that I was clearly buying it. So there was no confusion about
Hands
nothing.
up at all times. I'm just buying these products.
I'm just buying. I just wanted some Pocky.
Pocky? You want it? There's Alabama. Walmart had Pocky.
They did actually. Honestly, they had
concerning.
Pocky. I went in for a Pocky and an Arizona iced tea because that was my favorite at the time.
Shouts to the creator of Arizona Iced Tea for
we're
never
gonna say
wanting.
shout out to Arizona for standing on business.
Yo.
Fucking just 10 toes down, man.
Yes. They asked him, hey, you can make so much more money if you put up the price. He's like, I already have money. I don't need more. And I'm like,
fuck?
talk to Elon. Talk to any of them.
Talk to everybody.
Everyone. God damn it, man.
That's funny.
Just because I felt like you wouldn't, I didn't want to skip this. St. Augustine Lighthouse, Florida is one of the most haunted places in America. It's visited by 225,000 people, blah, 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 blah. So several tragic events occurring at a now historic site that have contributed to the alleged paranormal activity. One of the first was when the lighthouse keeper fell to his death while painting the tower. His ghost has since been spotted watching over the grounds. Another event was a horrific death of 3 young girls who drowned when the cart that they were playing in broke and fell into the ocean. Today, visitors claim to hear the sounds of children's playing in and around the lighthouse. The scariest thing in the world is children's laughter, especially when you are not a parent. It's like, what was
And
that?
even then, sometimes my son shows up in the hallway in the middle of the night, and I just, for a second, I'm like, I'm going to drop kick you if you say the wrong thing. You better say the right words.
Bro.
I can't see you, but I can see the shape of you.
Okay.
I have a 90% chance of dropping you right now.
I was going to say a D&D term. I was like, is it a mimic? No, it's not. I was talking about...
Is it a mimic? What do you mean you want water, tiny devil?
Yeah. Like, no, not in this house. But yeah, if you are 100% for real, I'll meet you in both. I don't care.
Dude,
I
let's
love
fucking run it,
spooky
dude.
shit.
Yeah.
But St. Augustine's not far. And honestly, real talk, it's a lot of fun and a lot of good drinks and a lot of good places. So there's a lot of haunted tours that you could set shit up. But during the day, shit, be towed up. But enough of that. Back to business. So obviously with this full-time streaming, you've full-time content creation, you branched off, you do streaming, you do the podcast, you do your obviously short form videos, and you also do tabletop RPG. So I assume you run on just straight caffeine and fucking fury because there's a lot of shit going on, Jonathan.
I run on spite and pettiness is my main source of fuel.
Fucking I focus by never wanting to be number 2. Whatever your
That's
motivation is, put it on a shirt.
Not being broke.
I need food. I have bills. Let's go. Tell me about what shifted. You said you're a nerd. Why tabletop RPG? Was that something always a love and it just made sense now that you had a platform? What was it?
Yeah. So prior to doing it professionally, quote unquote professionally, I had been playing TTRPGs for 15 years. At that point in time.
What games specifically? What games?
Dungeons and Dragons
Those at home watching.
2.5. So I started Dungeons and Dragons 2.5 edition is my first one. For those that know, this is when THAC0 was still around. This was when to hit armor class 0 was still how you determined if you got hit or not. So that's what we started with. Mind you, 4th edition already existed. This was already out there, but we started with 2.5.
Why?
Because we had the original 2.5 like stapled together from like the original books and everything. We had the OG 2.5
Okay,
because it belonged to my friend's dad.
Okay.
And we would use that, and that's just what we learned with. And it was very loosely used because most of it was just homebrew. Homebrew means that you make it up yourself and it's not part of the official rules and canon of Dungeons and Dragons. And so a lot of it was just homebrewed stuff that we did. And that just kind of took a life of its own. And I slowly would pull people in to do it and have fun. And we'd play games and we'd have campaigns that would run short and then we never get really far. Now, back to 2021. Part of the reason why I started content creation was because I was going through a divorce. And it was a very dark time in my life, and I was depressed, and I needed an outlet of some sort. And so content creation was my outlet. But more so than that, I needed something to make me laugh. I needed something to not make me feel so dark. In comes Dimension 20 Fantasy High.
Them. I love
and
Dimension 20.
and I not to name drop, but I'm incredibly fortunate to be friends with a few of them now. But Dimension 20 Fantasy High.
My life.
I know. Honestly, listen, the fact that like Brennan Lee Mulligan and I are mutuals, that's my biggest claim to fame. Like,
I gotta go.
Right?
I'm hanging up. I'm done. I'm done.
Like, but I mean, just phenomenal human beings, and
all of them seem dope.
They saved my life truly, and I've been so grateful and thankful that I've gotten a chance to tell them this because they did. I remember it had been a couple months since what I was going through. Middle of the night, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm dying. I'm laughing my ass off. And my mom comes into the room and she's like, "Hey, you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Was I being loud?" And she's like, "No, it's fine. We just hadn't heard you laugh in months." And that's when I realized, okay, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be all right. And it was thanks to Dimension 20 and Brennan and Zach and Beardsley and, Murph and Emily and just everybody and Siobhan and everybody that was a part of that. I was like, you guys truly saved me. And I've been thankful to have gotten the chance to get to know them better and to thank them personally for that, whether they knew it or not, of course. Yeah. But I wanted that for other people. I wanted to be able to tell stories that mattered. And I was very grateful for the opportunity through Alec the Bard, Alec GM, Alec Lockman, you guys might know him as now, as he's rebranded. And we became mutuals, and he just reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm putting together this campaign and this story for this world I'm building. Would love to have you on board. Because it's kind of like a scary, spooky monster game." And I was like, shoot, okay, dope. Would love to do it. And then 5 GMs in a trench coat, huge shout out. They're doing amazing work. If you guys haven't seen their stuff, we did a Spider-Man multiverse audio podcast where I played Mariachi Araña, which was this variant of Peter Parker, Pedro Parker, that was a mariachi, given power. Pedro Parker, that was a mariachi, given superpowers by a god of spiders in Mesoamerican folklore that is real. And he got his webbings and everything from gauntlets of magical power, but he was a mariachi. And like he had a mariachi Spider-Man suit on and everything with like the calavera with spider. It was fucking amazing. I still have the pictures of them. I'll show them to you afterwards. They're so cool. And I was like, I want to tell these stories that matter to people. I want to tell these stories that even if one person hears these stories and I get to make them laugh in a time where they need it, then it'll all have been worth it. And that slowly evolved into, okay, how do I tell stories now that aren't being told, that matter, that don't have a voice? And Tabletop Tempest came around. Tabletop Tempest is the AP channel, actual play channel, that is run by myself and another founder who is, it is run and managed by immigrants and or the children of immigrant parents, where we get to tell the stories of our cultura, of our people, of multiple different minorities and voices. And we get to be able to have these moments of, okay, yeah, I want to hear about how you kill the big bad guy, but I also want to hear about how the generational trauma in your family's history is preventing you from being your authentic self. I want to also hear about how you are brown in this world that doesn't accept you for who you are, and you're not white enough or brown enough or don't belong. I want to hear those stories of the things that we actually struggle with in the real world. And I want to hear people overcoming it, and I want to hear people struggling with it. I want to hear people going through it and creating these characters that are so unique that we don't hear about. So it just kind of took a life of its own, and we've been incredibly blessed with amazing players and stories. Chris, D&D Imposter, was our first GM for our first story, Beneath the Surface, that was Amazon and Brazilian themed, and we got to talk about cultural identity and self-identity and trauma, and brought that story forward. So no, it's been an amazing time being able to tell all these stories.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. And did not think about all the depths and layers to it all. Like, I know that for a lot of people, D&D's been an escape. Like, I have friends that we play often. Well, we used to play much more often. Like, we recently had like a Call of Cthulhu, and you can kind of tap into a little bit of your personalities and a little bit of having fun, and like, and there's a little bit of creativity that you get to get away with, where you could be genuinely you without being afraid of. Where this sounds funny for anyone at home who's like, oh, D&D's all made believe. There's sometimes that people are making believe in real life, and D&D allows them to be real. So that happens more often than you realize, where you might respond, or you might create a character of who you wish you were. You might do something that might be something so far out of where you are that it gives you that freedom to have fun with it. So D&D's a lot of fun. In Tabletop RPG, I played 5e a lot. I played Champions. I played Call of Cthulhu. I've played Werewolf the Apocalypse, Vampire the Masquerade. All these games sound wild in names. Guys, give it a try. Be a nerd for a little bit. One of my favorite videos is watching the... Go ahead.
No, go.
It's watching John Berthel. He was in an interview with the girl from Daredevil, and she's breaking down... I forget her name, and I don't mean to be disrespectful. I know her more by her character's name than by her own name. Yeah, I'm trying to remember her name. So, like... but she's breaking down to him. I'll let you look it up. Breaking down to
Deborah Ann Wall.
There we go. She's breaking down to him what D&D is, and he's like, "Well, how do we play?" He's like, "We can play right now." Yeah, and you could genuinely tell he's just like, "Okay, this seems kind of fun." You tell like he's like, "All right."
He gets hooked into it really quick too. He gets immersive, and it's that. There is a little bit of the real you in every character that you ever design, because it has to be built from something, and you put a little bit of yourself, whether it's your curiosity, your bravery, your wish to be something that you're not, whether it's a desire or an ambition. There's a little part of you that exists within every character in every world that you build, and it's just a great way to explore that without feeling judged. Yeah,
one of my favorite characters is because typically, especially in the early stages of playing D&D, I had a lot of my friends just assumed I would pick the big, strong character because I'm a bigger dude, lift weights, all that stuff. I was like, oh, he's going to be the barbarian. He's going to be the rage, blah, blah, blah. He's going to do this. So I started purposely picking characters that were completely unorthodox or not me. So I picked like a Cochrane, like fighter rogue hybrid. So a flying bird that was like just a bunch of swift movements. But his voice, because he didn't understand human speech patterns or what people meant, and he was trying to emulate it almost like a parrot, seemed inappropriate for the circumstance. So he would seem really happy in a sad moment because he only remembered people being happy. So he was just not knowing what tone fit. He's like, I don't understand what human speech is. So really funny moments. But I was purposely, what set apart was all my friends assume I'm going to play the big strong guy. I'm going to play the fast flight, like swift, like just almost a silent assassin.
Sneaky,
Or I played a Hexblade Warlock, something that was just all magic.
Love Hexblade Warlock.
Yeah, you see, so it's fun. Yeah. And it's it's not a little bit, it's significantly different than like playing just a brute barbarian. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But
there's also, again, one of the beauties with the game is that there are quote unquote rules that you can play with, pero there's also the flexibility of the rule of cool, or just making things, seem, just play with them to make them fit the world that you're creating. We had a barbarian once that didn't operate on rage. It was one of those things where, barbarians are big berserkers. They go into a rage mode, which means they get angry and they Hulk out and they fight. We had a barbarian that operated on sadness. And the more sad they felt, the more, and so we had to explore that, because it's like, okay, this is kind of fucking weird. All the barbarians we know get angry. What do you get sad? And then we start diving into the backstory and finding out that they're the last of their kind, and they're sad because they don't have any more people, and they couldn't stop, their village from being destroyed. And the thought of that makes them sadder than it makes them angrier. But that's how they tap into their power. So it's awesome being able to dive into these stories and be like, oh shit, like there's more than just big, mean, angry meathead. There's so much more up. Why is he big? Why is he angry? Why is he sad? So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and to your point, I don't know them like you do. So if you want to give them a shot, like tell them, hey, you're touch. There are nights I stay up watching Dimension 20, like and just laughing, and even like the Madison Square Garden one where they're like, oh, re-rolls and all this stuff, or even when they're on game shows. When Brendan's on that game show that like Brendan can't win,
Game Changer.
Yeah, Game Changer. I was like, I love all of this shit.
I've yet to watch Madison Square Garden all the way through, but I've watched The Unsleeping City, both seasons.
That's my favorite one.
At least 6 or 7 times over.
That's my favorite.
It's made me love. I've been to New York one time, and it was just I had food at a Chinese spot that my family took me to, and then we walked Times Square for a little bit. This was around Christmas time, December or November of last year, so I just got to kind of see it. But I have this innate love for a place that I've never visited before. Because of the way that Brennan spoke about it and the way that he paints the picture, because he grew up there, and watching him write this love letter to the place that he grew up in, I've just always wanted to go. I've always wanted to experience it and explore it. And so,
but I end up traveling with you. That's
listen, let's fucking, dude. Let's go everywhere, bro. But no, again, Brennan, Danielle, Zach, Lou, Siobhan, Emily, Murph, Beardsley, Mercer's been on there, fucking Trap, Erica, Iffy, Abria, just everybody. Thank you so much for a fucking amazing product and an amazing story and amazing just fucking things that you do, and being able to, for just a second, suspend disbelief and make us forget that the world is a shitty place and that there's a shittier place that can be fixed.
If I had the applause button on deck, I would do that for us right now. Straight up, I couldn't agree with you more, man. I am from that city, and there is also, for someone who's so used to the city, you forget how beautiful it can be until you start seeing it depicted in the way he was showing it in Dimension 20 and like the Sleepless City. Was put on my friend Jesse. He's like, hey man, I know that you like D&D, and I'm listening to a season of something you might be able to appreciate. And people share passwords, but the moment I got into it, I was like, I'm getting this. I'm gonna fucking whatever.
100%. Best $5 I've ever spent.
Whatever I can do to support this, I'm paying for it. But at first, it was like,
when I announced that, when Sam Reich, also huge shout out to Sam for owning this company and for creating it and for being it what it is. Like, again, incredibly thankful to be connected to him as well, and just fucking incredible work. But you could have doubled the price. He could have been like, it's going to be $10 a month now. We're so sorry. And I'd be like, cool, dope, awesome. That's fine. I don't care.
I don't need guacamole.
Like, the amount of entertainment I get from this is the most. I don't watch TV. I don't know a lot of people in our generation that do watch TV.
Not live TV. Anymore. I binge shit with
not live TV.
Yeah.
Live TV is like a 55 plus thing. And like a lot of us ain't doing that. Nope. So Dimension 20 is my only entertainment.
The last time I watched something when it aired was like Game of Thrones when it was at its peak. Outside of that, that's it. I don't watch anything when it airs in football. That's it.
No.
Live sports.
And even then, I got somebody else who I can fucking watch it from. I don't know my own thing.
Yeah, I don't know fucking it. I'm not paying Sunday ticket price. If you're listening Sunday you're evil. But last thing about the tabletop RPG, that Sleepless City actually is inspired me to. I'm gonna be leading a one shot for Vampire the Masquerade, and it's all in my. I'm writing it from beginning to end, so it's not something written. It's not anything out, but it takes place in this almost like the movie Bright, but happens in New York. So, but what's happening is the underground world of vampires and werewolves exist, and there's like human beings that are like they're familiars that run the government. They do all this stuff. So all this is happening in real time, but no one knows because of how many people they have appointed in high offices. They've paid for it. They've appointed these people. Their familiars are like the governor of New York, like stuff like that.
Sure.
So there are these.
I fucking love that.
I have really like. There's some scenes drew up because I'll storyboard it to see how I see it in my head. And there's a scene where the mayor walks into his office and things like, and we're done. And he yells out like to press or whatever, closes the door. And he's like, yes, my liege. And immediately drops his knee when he turns and
what a bitch.
Yeah. His vampire, his
master.
His master's right there sitting at the chair. He's like, where were you? He's like, I had to answer a question. He's like, they're not important. like this whole, his shift in power is a grand reveal for my, for my players. So
That's
like,
so dope. I love that, dude.
yeah, I have this epic battle written for Brooklyn Bridge, and it takes place
You got it.
exclusively through First Subway in like not the big bad, but one of the bigger bads, and a grand reveal is going to be at Brooklyn Bridge. But it inspired partially by that, because I was like, there's so many things you could do in New York City or bigger cities like that, and write what you know, right? Create what you know.
Why not, dude?
Yeah,
like having grown up in Seattle, Unsleeping City inspired me to write a version of the Unsleeping City in Seattle, because I grew up there. 15 years there. I know that place. Like, I grew up in those streets. And Seattle has always been not the antithesis to New York, but coastal, opposite each other, the same
cousins,
but different.
Different cousins.
You know, they're cousins. You know, when the sun is rising on one, it's setting on another type thing. And I want that contrast, and I always wanted to play with that story. So 100% take inspiration from everything. If all you know is Game of Thrones, live in the world of Game of Thrones. Create your own season 8.
Yeah, a better one, please.
Please, for the love of God.
For fuck's sake. I know that we're. Do you got time still? I don't know. We had it.
Yo, I got nothing going on tonight.
All right, cool. But sure, I want to make sure. I want to be respectful. I know. But,
I appreciate that.
Always try to be mindful of people's time. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to get a little bit more about Jonathan, because there's some jokes I want to make about this whole, like, I might be the Latino for spooky shit, but who knows? Be right back, guys.
Sponsor of Bourbon and Bullshit, Big Bang Boom Collective is Orlando's burlesque and cabaret entertainment group, comprised of Midnight Fables Cabaret, Big Bang Boom Cabaret, and Foxy's Den. Follow us on Instagram at Big Bang Boom Collective, or join our VIP email list for info on upcoming shows by visiting www.bigbangboomcollective.com.
Jonathan, if you had to guess one of my most popular episodes, or like really like people list one of the higher episodes, it's anytime I've had that woman on my show. That's my sugar mama.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, I understand that. Absolutely. I will do it. I don't know her. I don't know what she looks. I don't care. I would die for her. I would kill for her right now.
It's hilarious. Because every time people are like, oh, you have her on the show, you guys have a great dynamic. I love their back and forth. You're both spooky. You're both all this. I was like, don't lie to me. It's her fucking voice. Don't tell me that it's because
it's
of
the
me.
voice. Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's 100% the voice. I'm sure they've got a phenomenal personality. Love that for them. It's the voice.
She's one of our best supporters, or the biggest supporters. She's
I love that.
Rocked with us from day one. If anything, she's yelled at me. It's like, I gotta fucking get yelled at
for free. Yo, hey, hit me up. Listen,
she can make money. Go to one of the burlesque shows.
Yeah, there we go.
She'll yell at you for money. So we talked about Tabletop RPG, but there is another side project, because you still don't sleep. Spooky Guys podcast. It's like, tell me about that. Like, I know that you took a mild hiatus, but tell me what, did it feel like a natural progression? What inspired you to do that?
So Latinos Against Spooky Shit, I always knew had to evolve. I knew that it had to turn into something. I just never knew what. And podcasting just felt like the next natural step, right? It felt adjacent to what I was already doing. But I didn't want to do it on my own, because I was like, I already talked to the videos on my own, and it makes me feel crazy. I need something. I need someone. But I don't want to bring random guests on, because I'm not good at organizing and logistics and all that kind of stuff. So, like,
I don't know if I'm being complimented here.
No, 100% a compliment. I cannot do what you do. Truly, like the idea of doing this with internet and streaming and trying to organize, like, I'm terrible at it. So kudos to everything that you were doing here and putting together. But I knew that wasn't me. I knew, like, I ain't got that dog in me. Like, that dog is a chihuahua, and he's scared of his own shadow. It ain't happening, fam. And so I started talking to my son's stepdad, and he's always wanted to do a podcast, and he loves spooky shit. And I was like, hey, yo, and we get along great. We have a phenomenal relationship, And I was like, are we doing this or what? He's like, yeah, let's run it. I was like, okay. So we just started doing it, and we started talking about, he loved serial killers and all things like on that side, cold case files, missing peoples, and I enjoyed all things on the supernatural side. So it just made sense that we had this like yin and yang type thing where we were covering each other's bases. I didn't know a lot about serial killers, so I could go into it blind, and he could teach me about John Wayne Gacy and all these other killers, and I could have a genuine reaction of like, oh shit, I didn't know any of this was happening, because I don't care enough. And he didn't know about the lore of about a lot of things because he also didn't know about it because he wasn't studying it. So it was just really complemented each other.
Okay.
And you can still find all our stuff online. We have taken a hiatus just because work for him has been a fucking nightmare and he's busy and we haven't found time to be able to record. But we're going to be coming back, baby. We're going to be coming back full swing.
So for those at home who want to check out Jonathan's podcast, it's called The Spooky Guys. You can find it on all podcast platforms. One of their most recent episodes, I think, was you did the Mothman back in January. But
I don't even remember
couple
the last one we did.
Yeah, I'll look it up. It's fine. But I should have done this research.
I should know my own fucking podcast.
Yeah, but it's fine. It says advanced bullshit, which feels like you were preparing for our show. Prior to that was the true story of The Exorcist. So, and the missing 411 phenomenon. So, and the Jersey Devil. So there are some great mythos that you're going over and some well-known serial killers. You're right. John Wayne Gacy, part 3. Wow, that's a long one then.
It was long. There's so much to that one that I wasn't even aware of.
Yeah, there's a reason why all this true crime, trauma, and enough Latino dramas take place and people watch them from beginning to end. Shouts to my fiance, who she will watch any like murder, mystery, true life crime shit and sleep like a baby. But you put on Smile too, and it's fucking a problem. I don't get it.
Women, am I right?
No, psychopath.
Damn.
I love her so goddamn much, and she knows it. But every time she's like, "I can't go to sleep. We just watch a scary movie." I was like, you watch. And he killed 48 women, and you
took notes. Yeah. That's what scared me.
What was concerning was like, I wonder what that would taste like. What?
Yeah. What was concerning is you corrected him and knew what he did wrong before they told you. I didn't like that.
You see, where he messed up was why do you know where he messed up? Like,
but this is the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. She could easily kill me. I would fall for it because she'd just cook me something. I would eat it, not question it. That's not good.
100%. That's that'll get me every time. I'm gordito for a reason, chat.
I was about to say I'm too chunky to fucking turn down good food. And one of the things outside of that, the Spooky Guest podcast that I really do commend you on. Well, you also do variety game streaming. I don't know what games you actually stream.
So variety. I know. I do a little bit of everything. So I try to do just spooky games. I try to do just the horror games, pero I really started getting desensitized to it to the point that it wasn't scary anymore. And I was like, I can kind of see it coming. It is what it is. So I'm like, I want to play games that I actually enjoy, games that I want to play, that I want to share with my community. And I started doing JRPGs, Final Fantasy, Persona.
Tactics is coming out, by the way.
Very excited about it. That's one of the very few on the list that I've never played as far as Final Fantasy game goes. I never got to play Tactics. I know.
Jonathan! What are we doing here?
I've played 1, I played 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I played Crystal Chronicles. I've played everything minus fucking 13 because 13 was trash and we're not going to fucking talk about it. But I played pretty much everything. I've played everything except Advance. Advance just snuck by me. I even fucking powered through Type 0. The weird card game one that they had. Okay? I know.
Someone hurt you?
It's a bad time. My dad had just left. But
you started what are you streaming? So it's JRPGs right now mainly?
So right now it's a lot of JRPGs. I'm trying to power through Final Fantasy 9. I love Final Fantasy 9. Don't get me wrong. One of my favorites. Actually, I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second because this is a statement that I have to make on every platform that I'm able to. Listen, y'all. Final Fantasy 7 through 10 is the golden era of Final Fantasy games, and we're never going to get that experience again. We're never going to get that moment and that feeling of those type of games. And it's sad, but I do think that there's hope. Games like Baldur's Gate reminded me that there's still a place for turn-based combat. And I think if done right, we can get a second coming of those type of games. But 7 through 10 is peak. You will never convince me that anything below that or above that has been better than or will be better than that genre and that era of gaming. I will also say Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and all those games ruined an entire generation of games.
You went for the jugular.
And that's where I will stand. Because of because of Dark Souls and Souls-like games, so many games that should have been nothing like that got turned into copies of it or reskins of it as a cash grab. Lies of P, Sekiro, Neo, Final Fantasy 16 copied them, DMC copied them. You have so many games that went, oh shit, they're popular and they're making money. If we just change our combat style to be more difficult and just kind of copy the dark, gritty nuances of what they are, we can make it too. They got Game of the Year just by being fucking hard. Fuck that. Okay, we got cheated out of a phenomenal Final Fantasy 16 is my biggest gripe. It was supposed to be great. It was supposed to be perfect. It was supposed to be excellent, and it wasn't. It was a letdown. It should have been a TV show. It should have never been a game.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at any of that. I will say that before Final Fantasy VII, I did have a great appreciation for tactics, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, games like that, because I still loved their turn-based and their style too.
Sure.
Yeah, but you're right. But this day, there's a reason why Final Fantasy VII has been remade 17 times.
There's a reason. Yeah. Well, Final Fantasy X has been remade a bunch of times. 7 just got the remake
twice. Yeah. Didn't get twice?
Well, it's gotten two parts. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah, so
which is the second part. So they've broken each disc essentially is getting its own part. Next one's going to be the last one, and you're going to hear it right here, right now. I promise you, the next announcement will be Final Fantasy IX Remake. Mark my fucking words.
Skip it 8.
Eight. It's going to skip 8.
Jeez,
nobody liked 8. I loved 8. 8 was great,
mm-hmm.
but 8 has a lot of work to do because the level up system and the draw system is a little funky, and they got to figure out how to do that in the new age. 9 was a little bit easier.
What do you think of games like Expedition 33, where they are turn-based, but they have this weird parry / fucking dodge system and all this stuff where they're trying to be unique? I love the beautiful world.
That's part of the reason why I'm trying to power through Final Fantasy 9 is so I can play that, because I've seen nothing but great things about it.
Fantastic.
And I'm so desperate to give it a try.
It is a really, 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 really good game, except that the fucking parry system's a pain in the ass.
The parry system, the system that they implemented reminds me of an advanced version of Legends of Dragoon. Don't know if you ever played it.
Yes, of course.
But Legends of Dragoon has that quick time system for your combos and everything, and it reminds me of that expanded.
The monsters will give you almost zero habits until you've fought them more than once. So there are some that will do this weird dance and then suddenly like swipe up with a sword.
They'll feint you.
Yeah. Like 14 feints, and then suddenly just a rocket comes from the side that had nothing to do with him. Like, what the fuck was that?
This kind of goes back to the unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is partially due to
Souls
games like Elden Ring and Souls-like, because of the remembering the combo types and having to learn these fucking
and roll
the
and
frames
roll and roll.
So.
Oh, we get along so well because I hate Elden Ring. like
bane of my existence.
Like I will play them with my friends because they want me to, and it's okay, it's cool. But for the fact that a game is just hard because it's like I
shouldn't have to watch and read a Wikipedia page to understand the fucking story of the game I'm playing. I don't know what's going on. Why am I here? What's going on? Who's this chick with the 6 legs or the 6 arms and she's attacking me all of a sudden? What is the Elden Tree? Well, you just got to play the game and like read all the documents. I don't want to. I want instant gratification. You just want to be baby through a game? Yes, I spent $70 on this so that I could suspend disbelief and forget and not have to think so hard. If I wanted to have a discourse on medieval history, I would do a discourse.
$70 for the base game, not the DLC and all.
For the not including DLC, yeah, exactly. Like no, like I cannot invest that much time into that game to understand the whole lore and how Metropolis and Mythgar and all these stupid people are related to each other. I can't.
I get into these conversations with my gamer friends because we stream and play games like Hunt Showdown, things that like you could hop into the game, enjoy yourself, and move on. And I had a friend that's like, oh, like it's like slower paced games don't seem your style. Like they are without friends. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't want to be here and read the story. I don't want to play Baldur's Gate with too many of my friends because we are very different wavelengths. If I'm here for Baldur's Gate, I'm here for Baldur's Gate. I'm going to do the side quests. I'm going to do the storylines. I'm going to go romance random people because I think it's fun. Mass Effect and all that shit. I will do that thoroughly, but I don't want to play that with my friends.
No.
ever.
No. There's certain games, even now, there's certain games that I play that are just for me that I will not stream because this is for me. This is special to me. I don't care about it. One of the games that I probably will not stream, as much as I love this series, it's for me and me alone. It's Metal Gear Solid. Snake. I just can't. It's got a special place in my heart, and I don't want to feel like I have to entertain while I get myself immersed. Because I also don't want it to be a shitty experience for the people watching me.
That's a big part for me too.
So for me, it's like, oh fuck, I haven't talked in 30 minutes because I'm so trapped in this moment. My bad, chat. Like I just don't want that.
I've been there more than once.
I've done that too.
I was playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night by myself for like an hour, and then I realized it wasn't by myself. I was streaming it.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was like. I was playing Labyrinth or one of these games, or Limbo, or one of those dark side scroller games, or Little Nightmares. And I just
Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I was just playing it like midnight, and then I realized at some point I had like 20 people watching, but I hadn't said anything. And I realized I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck up a good thing. We're all vibing. So I just shut the fuck up and just kept playing.
Just chill. Because nothing's worse when you realize, oh shit, there's people here. I should entertain something. And then you see the follower drop count, and I'm like, damn, my bad.
Damn, my
shit.
voice fucked that up. Oh, man. Yeah, we're just here to watch this. Like, I apologize.
Y'all weren't here for me. Okay.
Well, as we continue to get to know you and kind of round out the episode a little bit, one of the things I'm going to commend you on, and I think that it is a bold step. We talked about it kind of in the beginning about where you are unapologetically you. There are some things and some stances, and you just have never once seemed to take a step and go, I'm going to people please. So I'm going to commend you because not only do you have some of the best merch for those who are curious, F that puto with a really nice hair swoop is one of the top selling things right now. If you don't know what the hair swoop looks like, just Google Chester Cheetah.
Damn.
But you have found a way where you are unapologetically you, and your focus is on inclusivity in an environment where everyone could thrive. You joked about here helping me, like, let's go fucking go do that. All these content creators. I don't think that that's full of shit. I think you 100% mean that shit. So, was there ever a point where you like, should I kind of placate? Should I change to make it? Or was it never once? Not even once.
I thrive on being me. So much so that my own family and we are at ends on a lot of things. Thankfully, nothing political. We're all on the same page on that. But a lot of it is
people who have good
Jonathan,
internet.
Why are you? Yeah, but it's like, Jonathan, why are you the way that you are? Like, why are you like because I'm so different from them. And I think a lot of it is cultural. Going back to it, I think a lot of the family thing is like, hey, don't do anything that makes the family look bad. Like, hey, why would you say that? That like puts us in a bad spot. Or like, hey, like you're embarrassing us. And like, why are you so different? I'm very independent. I love my family so much and I love spending time with them, but I'm also my own person and my views are not their views. And they have a lot of old traditional views about what it means to be a man or a person or family. And I have a lot of newer age views where I'm like, okay, I'm going to challenge that a little bit. And here's why. And I've always prided myself in being authentically me, even if that meant that it was going to step on somebody else's toes. Because why should I water myself down for your comfort? Why should I have to be anything less than who I am just because you don't feel comfortable with that? That's not my problem. You're uncomfortable with it. Now, if I'm doing something on purpose to make you uncomfortable, that's a very different conversation. But if just me existing makes you nervous or you don't like that, that has nothing to do with me. That has everything to do with you, how you react to it. And that's your choice to make. So, no, I've never once wanted to placate or had the feeling of placating.
Hey, I fucking commend that. There's a certain level of, I have friends that we will be often on opposite sides of things where I'm very much the person who's like, that's not worth my energy. It's like, you're not mad. I was like, yeah, I'm mad, but what the fuck am I going to do? Like, I'm just very, very much of like, there's some things I will die on. That hill, I will fucking wreck a city. I will do whatever the fuck I need to. People's like, aren't you mad about this? Yeah, but I don't think that that's worth my time right now. Like, there are other things that I can focus on. I don't care what the Kardashians doing. I don't care what this person's like. And I find myself on opposite ends of like what people find important. And
it happens.
It ends up being something that's like, should I? No, I don't want to. That's too much work. Like, should I? No.
Yeah.
No.
I used to try to convince people. Yeah, I used to try to like. There's sometimes where somebody wants to have the healthy dialogue on opposing views. I'm like, okay, I can engage in this, sure. But then there's those people that just want to argue because they have something to say, not because they want to learn. And it's like, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. I'm more than happy, more than willing, at the drop of a hat, to block anybody and ignore anybody. Like, life's too short for me to try to walk you through this and tell you why your view is wrong and why, ICE is a fucking bullshit organization. I don't have the time. If you're looking at everything that's happening right now and you can turn an eye to it,
I don't have time.
Well, you're kind of a piece of shit, and I don't have the time to fucking tell you why if you can't see it. If the writing's on the wall and you're refusing to read it, that's on you, not on me. So
I commend that, man, because that's not an easy path to walk, especially when you're being a content creator where you kind of ostracize yourself. But I think that a couple episodes back, I talked about it. Being genuinely you is more important than trying to placate people, because people are tuning in for who you are. 100%. I could find a cookie cutter version of a content. I could find Google information. I could watch videos of just Appalachian Mountains. I don't need to watch the Latinos versus Spooky Shit reels. I'm watching it because of Jonathan. People aren't tuning into my podcast because I'm telling them about a cocktail that they've never heard of. No, motherfucker, I looked it up. I looked it up at the same place, the Google machine, as someone called it. Fucking almost a president.
The Google machine. Yeah.
No, it's scary. But yeah, they tune in for that, and being unapologetically you has obviously gotten you very far. And with that kind of like that crew, also staying true to the creative and historical background of yourself, right? And never changing that probably propels it, because you get to just tell people the raw features of it. So commend you on that, man.
It's dirty, it's nitty gritty, and it exists. And I think that's the other thing. I'd rather be fed an ugly truth than a beautiful lie any day of the week.
All day, every day. I tell people all the time, don't waste my goddamn time. When we're on commercial, I'll tell you about someone who was like, hey, no, you've never met someone like me. I was like, yes, I have. There's 100 of them burning Nikes right now. I know exactly who you are. I'm going to fucking piss off some people with this episode, but fuck you. Listen, last commercial, we're going to round it up, but when we get back, I do want to talk to you about some more about just where you are today, what's the next project, and what's on the horizon, because you're just keep moving, just keep swimming. And obviously the shirt that's coming out exclusive here from the show is going to be, I have bills, and that's my motivation. So
get it now,
lock it in for the low price of $100 a shirt. Be right back. Hey guys, this episode is brought to you in part by Coach John Estrada of Run BMT Training, longtime supporter of the show and an absolute beast on the pavement. And for the record, this man just crushed the LA Marathon. And if you're looking to level up your running game, John's the coach to get you there. That's John with no H. Trust me, he's going to correct you. Whether you're training for your first 5K or tackling a full marathon, Run BMT, the coach is there, and John will have you running smarter, faster, and injury-free. So if you need expert coaching, hit up John at blackmattertraining.com and tell him I sent you. Now, he might not give you a discount, but he will make you a better runner. Again, that's John at blackmattertraining.com. Now let's get back to it. Thanks, guys. The fact that you're enjoying the music and everything in on the commercials, it's making me smile a little bit inside.
Yeah, it's good. It's good shit. I like it. It's also wild that you do it live during your recording and don't put it in the post
easy peasy
credit.
Easy peasy. Well, go ahead.
It makes sense. Like your way makes so much more sense than the way that I do. I'm like, fuck, because when we're chatting and I'm like, oh shit, we're hitting the 45-minute mark. We should probably at some point in time, and then we always forget to, which is why we don't put any of our bullshit in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
early when you said the organization stuff and all that. The unfortunate thing, as much of a goofball as I am, there is an OCD aspect of how I do this, because my life is significantly easier doing it now than later. Because then you have to find a lull in the conversation to be like, we're going to put it in a commercial.
Which is our problem that we're having. And so, no, 100%, you're doing it much better than I am. And here's the thing, I can improv my way through fucking anything. So the fact that you're like, hey, we're going to stop the conversation, cool, awesome, I get it. We got a beat, let's do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, it's good.
And honestly, most of my guests are, whenever, there have been moments, I'm not going to lie, where the conversation is flowing so, I am not stopping this train. We are fucking dealing with it. And I'm going to wait till I have a lull, and I'll make a mental note or write a note in the phone. And that's when I'll put in the commercial. Yeah. So I
crushing it.
Trying my hardest to make this life easier for us. So Jonathan, I don't want to call you John because my buddy John with no H, but what advice would you give to any other content creators trying to pivot or anyone just trying to start a brand, or get into the space?
Don't fucking do it. Keep your full-time job. Okay. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
It went from very inspirational, guys, to very just like, get the fuck back at
very
work.
Nihilistic.
Lie in your resume and stay there.
Damn. You're liars. Fucking
did I throw you off your game?
that threw me on my game. Fucking brought it back full circle. Brought the joke back. It was a callback. I like that. God, content creation, honestly, you have to love it. And loving something also means hating it sometimes. And you're gonna have to be okay with that. Because I wish I could tell you that it's a glamorous life of, I'm getting contracts and working and doing all these kind of things, and it ain't. A lot of it is hard work. A lot of it is going to be very unappreciated work that you're going to put into. The video that you put the most time into, the video that you took time to meticulously plan out, word, craft, edit, make sure the lighting is good, make sure it was the right time to post it, and make sure that everything was absolutely spotless on it, is a video that's going to do the fucking worst, and it's not going to get appreciated at all. And the video that you put up because you were on a time crunch and you didn't do your hair right and your makeup's a little messed up, your glasses are smudged, and the audio sounds crackly and sounds like shit, is going to fucking blow up, and you're going to hate it. And that's okay too. Content is not just about the quality, it's about the feeling behind it. It's art. At the end of the day, it is art in any format. And every piece of art that you create has a little bit of you. And as long as it's authentic, and as long as it's you, and as long as it's what you're happy with, even if you just create content for you, that's how this started for me. I was like, as long as I can make me laugh, I'm fucking fine with it. I'm happy with it. As long as I think it's funny, that's great. And then I realized, other people think I'm funny. Of course they do. I'm hilarious. I'm also humble, So
I'm the most humble guy ever.
I'm the most fucking humble guy. I'm going to tell you, I'm the most fucking humble guy ever. It's great.
There we go. I was waiting for that. That's my teacher. I was the most humble in college.
I was in college, even though I never went.
I had bone spurs.
But I couldn't take the ASAT or the SATs. I had the whispers. But fucking everything was spurring. It was wild. It was great.
It's crazy.
Melania, she rubbed Bengay on me. It was the only gay thing I will have on me. Fucking.
And we're not even drinking like that.
We haven't even drinking, dude. This is just fucking funny. But no, just love what you do. God, just have a passion for it. I want you to just be so disgustingly obsessed with the art that you're creating that you can't help but want to keep doing it. Like, despite everybody telling you it's stupid, despite everybody telling you it's dumb and it won't go anywhere, that's okay. It doesn't have to go anywhere. But emotion demands to be felt. Every emotion, whether it's angry, whether it's sad, whether it's happy, whether it's joy, whether it's sorrow, whatever it is, it demands to have a place and it demands to exist. Whether that means you put it into something or you just acknowledge it, but put it into something if you can, and just let it be what it is, and just feel it, man. And if it turns into something awesome, great. But there's no cookie cutter formula to content creation. I wish I could give you the formula.
Oh.
No, I wish I could give you the exact thing to do at the exact time and what to post and what to say. It was 100% accidentally for me. I was creating a recipe and I hit the Chemical X jar and I created 3 perfect little girls, and that's my sense of humor, my videos, and Latinos Against Spooky Shit. And here we are.
Well, shit. I should believe it or not. I think that's perfectly put, because if you're not feeling it, obviously not to your level, but I've ran into that situation where I'm like, I'm gonna make a carefully crafted cocktail. I want the garnish to look good. I want to do all that, and it was cool. Thanks. I've seen an old fashioned or so whatever, and then I remember I got whatever like 35 likes or whatever. It was like something small. Then I remember a buddy's like, you should make some meme based ones. It was like the Hawk Tool girl. I was like, I guess. And I made that drink, and it had like 5,000 shares in like the first 3 hours. I was like, "Who the fuck is sharing this?"
Yeah, like, it's almost upsetting. You're like, "Where the fuck were you for everything else I've been doing?" God damn it!
If you've been sitting here watching me,
yeah,
It was like
I get it.
I put a banana and a bunch of. And what was most upsetting, Jonathan, I got to tell you this, was that the drink was fucking delicious. And I was mad.
Yeah.
Because not only was it a great drink, it slapped. Everyone was just like, this is great. It's like, no, I don't want this to be the
I don't want this. It's upsetting. It's like, I appreciate the acknowledgement. Thank you for giving me the validation that I know I deserve. But how fucking dare you do it in this way?
Goddamn audacity. Get right through. Goddamn audacity of you.
Just fucking let me fucking tell you something.
Come here and fucking talk to you about what you just did. Looking ahead, we could do this all day. Looking ahead, what are the dream collaborations, sponsorships, or creative expansions that you're on your horizon? Like, is there a movie you're like, I need to be about that? Or is there something, a project? Hey, do you want to do the Madison Square Garden Roll20 thing? What is it?
A world.
Or do you just want to just always be on Bourbon and BS or Last Call Podcast or whatever show I'm promoting at the time?
I love being on other people's stuff because I love sharing that space with people. I love the experiences that we all have collectively in this space because it's content creation, right? It's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same uniform experience, and so being able to be like, shit, you get me and you get what I'm going through, and we can talk about what our experiences have been through is always fun. So I love collaborating with anybody and everything. My dream collabs, of course, I would love to be on anything Dimension 20 related or Dropout related, like actually Game Changer, whatever it is, you know. I would love that to be in the works and in the future, and I'm speaking it and manifesting it. You know, if I had anything up my sleeve and be like, no, it's coming soon, I'd let you guys know. But truly, right now, nothing is in the works regarding that. But if it ever happened, God, it would be exciting.
That's dope.
You know, I've got a lot of conventions that I go to that I'm grateful I get to be a part of, and sometimes have panels at.
Yeah, you do a panel for content creations and monetization too, don't you?
I did do one for that. Yeah, most recently, Iffy, you fucking crazy son of a bitch. We were at PAX East, and we're at PAX East, and Iffy and I have met already before. We've talked and we've chatted, and we're homies. Mm-hmm. And I see that he's on. It's like, oh shit, he's got a panel. I'm gonna wait for the panel. It was a game declathon where it was just gonna be a game show with other content creators, and it was just gonna be all fun. Mm-hmm. And we get into the panel, and I just go to the table really quickly, and I was like, hey, Iffy, I just want to say, bro, fucking can't wait to support you, bro. I'm gonna be in the crowd. Love to chat afterwards, and let's go get some food or something. And he's like, oh shit, you're here. Get on the stage. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, get up here. I was like, is that cool? He was like, don't give a shit. Get up here. I was like, okay, fuck. So I got to be part of his impromptu panel at PAX East.
That is dope as hell.
It was just so crazy sitting there and being like, I'm up here with Annika, with Iffy, with Scotty K Fitness, with Wash Your Rice guy. I forget what his username is. Oh, and we just did that. And what was weirder was looking out into the ocean of 400 or 500 people, and when he introduced me, people knew me, and I was like, fuck, okay, this is cool, people recognize me. And I want to do more panels. Whether it's just bullshit panels or whether it's panels talking about why culture is important in TTRPG space, or whatever it is. I just want to be able to talk more about what makes me happy and how that can tie into other people's happiness, and just share the space, dude. Just fucking vibe. Like, we're all just trying to get through it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Everyone knows what 2025 is like been so far. So, like, yeah. But I love that, man. That, like, the being able to, like, one, be around like-minded, like, you know, kindred spirits, to be able to share those experiences and see someone else's perspective. It speaks a lot about the culture. Even, like, kind of like, one of the things with content creation that a lot of people don't always realize is that you almost build a community. So you have people who are flocking to you because they appreciate what you're doing and what you're putting down. So the fact that, you know, you get to share that experience, see someone else's community and help them build theirs as well, it's fucking dope. You're gonna have some fun with it. But guys, it's getting to the end of this. I would love to have Jonathan on for hours and hours on end, but we both, have responsibilities.
I know.
Like Angelica said from Rugrats. I fucking hate that. I got responsibilities.
Responsibilities. Shut up, you're 5 or however old you are.
I don't remember how old she was. There's a whole conspiracy theory that they were all the babies were dead, that they weren't real.
Yeah, I remember that theory.
Yeah, it was really dark.
There's only one of them that's real, and I can't remember which one.
Yeah, it was Angelica.
Apparently, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Tommy was a stillborn, which is why his dad does nothing but work on toys, because he makes toys for the son that he never had. His mom's a workaholic because she doesn't want to acknowledge the whole death thing. The twins were also like dead in a car accident or something. And
no, they were dead. Is it dead in a car accident or something like that? But they also they didn't know what it was, a boy or a girl. So that's why they had twins.
That's why they had 2 of them. And then Chucky, his whole thing was I can't remember.
I think Chucky's he drowned or something. It was something weird. I don't know.
Something out of pocket. But it's like when you look back at it, you're like, kind of makes sense. Fuck.
Yeah, that cartoon was so fucked. I don't know why, but with the Latinos Against Spooky Shit, just shouts at Courage the Cowardly Dog for always just fucking
return the slab or suffer my curse. That's the one that fucked me up as a kid. Yep.
All of it was crazy.
Yeah.
Jonathan, do you have any closing words, anything where people can find you, anything you want to promote, including, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was hoping I would get my merch before today's episode because it was just gonna be beyond. I was just gonna have it.
Damn.
So now you have to come back. You have no choice. So when I get the merch,
you heard it here. Part 2, baby. We're coming back in a second.
He will be drinking during this one.
I will.
Yeah. So I will have the F that puto. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that.
I've always got it on me, boy. I always got
that thing. I got
that thing on me.
But any closing words for the listeners at home? Or, I mean, you've dropped some pretty inspirational nuggets of truth and all that, but where can people find you? Anything you want to say?
You guys can find me everywhere. It's Latinos Against Spooky Shit. You can keep up with me and all the things that I'm doing. You can follow my amazing friends and everything as well. You can find them all tagged in my stuff and all the TTRPG stuff that we do as well on my feed. So please check them out. I think right now, more than anything, if I can leave you with a final nugget, it's that good always triumphs. It just has to be a little shitty for a while before we do. We have to go through a struggle and we have to fight. But at the end of the day, we do fight. And everything that we're seeing that's happening right now does get overcome eventually. But people are fighting. People are showing up. And that means the world to me. And there are a lot of spooky things out there. And I think if we just keep all each other safe and just uplift each other, we're going to get through it. And as one of my favorite luchadores said, as long as you have some cero miedo, man, face everything without fear, and we're going to get through it.
Love that shit. Well, Jonathan, thanks, man. I can't follow that up, so I'm just going to tell you where to find me. But Jonathan, I can't wait to have you in part 2. I'm going to send you a recipe in advance. Love the energy. Love everything we talked about, and would love to work with you and collab on some other projects. So look forward to that. Guys, it's official. We've rebranded. Now it's at so we're the Last Call podcast because people were sensitive about some words, soft as baby shit. But now since we're at the end of the episode, I can say what I want. But now you can find me on socials. The Last Call with Arthur is going to be the Instagram handle. As we continue to grow, you still might be able to find us at bourbon_and_BS because I just want to make sure that it didn't just shock you all and you lost me in the translation, because we do have a lot of people who follow. I've had multiple people hit me up about cocktail recipes. It is coming. I'm trying to do kind of batched, like a lot of stuff at once for the new show. And I want to make sure that I put out quality for you guys as opposed to just putting out some Haktua shit. But apparently that's what you want. Are you not entertained? See what makes you smile.
See, if you're going to do the Haktua, you gotta actually Haktua it into a glass.
We're not, Jonathan. That's for the second part 2.
Think of the content.
That's a part 2 episode cocktail. Relax. We had Legion on that today. But hopefully you guys are liking everything we're doing. Stay tuned for all the upcoming projects. We're doing some drinks based off of video games. The Hunt Showdown run. So I have 6 cocktails based off that. I have some cocktails based off of for Halloween and for just because I like spooky shit. So the Midnight Mass Daiquiri, a lot of that whole, the Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor. And I'm going to be making my own unique renditions. I'm not a bartender. I'm just a guy who drinks and now has something called the Flavor Bible behind me. So you're going to find me fucking around and finding out with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. support us, support the people who support us. And that's it. See you guys soon. If you want some more bonus features, behind the scenes, and some exclusive content only found on Patreon, make sure you follow up as little as $0 a month just to be part of the community so you could get some of that content and tell me what you like to see so I can give that to you. Guys, take care. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. And please don't text your ex. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdity Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had, from flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business. I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Burn, Termite, and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and Bullshit sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.